Every week, I'm here talking to you about Sheath Underwear, and this week is no different. Now, I know what you're saying. This guy's probably full of crap. He doesn't really use Sheath Underwear. He's just some kind of paid sponsor guy. Well, guess what? They do pay for sponsorship, but that's different. I actually use the underwear. It's the only one I use. I threw away all my other ones. There's no point in having them. And check it out. Just got a brand new shipment right here. You can check out, not only is it awesomely packaged, got the most comfortable material in the world. You got the dual pouch technology. Penis goes in that hole. Your balls go in there. Keeps everything separated, nice and cool and refreshing. Perfect for sports or activities outside, hiking, MMA, whatever it is that you're into. These are the underwear for you. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can go listen to Bill Burr talk about it on his podcast, or you can listen to Israel Adesanya, the UFC champion. I'm super stoked on this pair because it's got this awesome flower of life pattern. I have it tattooed on my arm. I mean, it's just perfect for me. Go to their website, sheathunderwear.com. Use our promo code RRBG, real simple, the name of the show, and save yourself 20% on your order. At this point, if you're not using Sheath Underwear, it's your loss. Quick bit of business, real quick. Our mutual buddy, Alex Osher, sent me these nice, delicious Killcliff drinks.
Oh yeah, dude, it's delicious.
Yeah, man. They, at first when he sent me these, the Ignites, I was like, I can't. It's too strong. I had the jitters afterwards and everything.
I like that.
But then I got used to it. I guess my the tolerance level kind of moved. So now I enjoy these without the shakes.
Excellent. We had some of those. Were they Killcliff? No, they weren't Killcliff. What's the other? Bangs.
Oh no.
We were in the studio, and I'm not a big energy drink guy. The only time I'll do energy drinks is when we're on tour and we have to do like a long drive in the middle of fucking nowhere at 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
Fine. But our producer was drinking like 3 Bangs a day.
Ooh.
And I was like, what is that? I didn't know it was an energy drink. So I went and I got one, and I got halfway through it, and I was like, I'm going to die. Guys, I'm going to die.
The heart starts palpitating, like, what?
Walk around the block several times. Like, I couldn't. Oh, I was like, how is that even legal? Like, I feel like I'm in the backstage of a fucking Van Halen concert in fucking 78.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. It's definitely liquid crack. Like, they're putting crack in that. There's no way, man. Like, what?
There's fucking crack in them.
Yeah, I've had a bang or two. They give them away at like conventions. I was at a comic book convention, and there's the Bang chicks, and they're walking around with book bags filled with Bang, and they just give them out to people, and I'm like, stop it.
That's not healthy.
Yeah, this is pretty nuts, man. But it's funny. I've always dabbled in that world of energy supplements, I guess, because when I was younger, I found out this. You know the Red Line ones. The Red Line.
I have seen them. Yeah, I've never had one.
They're like they're energy drinks, but they're more, I guess, they're more potent, more concentrated, and even before it is what it is now, which is like a fruit punch, but super concentrated energy in it. They even tell you in the bottle, it says only drink half. Like this bottle is 2 servings. So. But, people chug those. And even before that was the product, it was a super thick brown liquid that you would put in under your tongue with a dropper. And that company was VPX, the company. It was called Redline, but it was that. It was like thick. And you put it under your tongue. It tastes like lightning. It was disgusting. But after like 30 minutes of it being under your, like you keep it under your tongue for like a minute, but then you swallow it, and then like 30 minutes after that, my legs would automatically start running. Like without, like my brain wasn't like, hey, we're gonna go running. It was just kind of like, whoosh, I just started like hauling ass. Like yeah, it was the weirdest feeling, man. Like uncontrollable, and I would just run full speed for like 30 or 40 minutes, and just like a robot. And I was like, this is the stuff. And apparently, yeah, it's the stuff that they give, like, they were giving people that were in the Olympics and stuff like that.
Athletes and stuff, yeah. Back when I was in, I think it was my senior year, I'm old, and I graduated in 1999.
Same here. I'm old, too.
Oh, okay, you're old too. Pepsi came into the high school and they were like, look, we want to set up a vending machine and we want to try these new bottled waters that they're caffeinated.
Oh,
and so it's just it looks like a bottle of water, but there's caffeine, and it's going to promote grades and energy and enthusiasm and our school. And like, we won't charge you anything for it. I mean, obviously you have to pay for the water, but like, we won't charge the school anything. Just let us put a vending machine in the cafeteria. And overnight, people were breaking into that thing to get more because, and someone at some point read the back of the bottle and were like, there's like equivalent of like a dozen cups of coffee in this fucking thing.
Jesus, man.
Like, it was real bad. And I think someone went to the ER for like heart issues because they drank like 4 of them that fucking day.
Is there nobody being held responsible for that? Like, is nobody like...
We were students, like we didn't have, but all I know is that vending machine was gone the next day.
Of course. That's terrible, dude. They're fucking drugging the kids.
Right.
What the fuck? Oh man. Well, for everybody that's watching, I didn't do a proper intro, but those are becoming more and more scarce these days because I now have a separate intro. So I'm just gonna like introduce you. But everybody, welcome to the RRBG. I'm here with Ryan Fluff Bruce of Riffs Beards.
That's me.
How are you, man?
You know what? I'm good. I'm better now. It's one of those days where like you wake up with like this weird headache because you didn't sleep for shit. And then you figure out, come about noon, you're like, I should eat. That's probably what should happen. And I ate and I'm feeling much, much better. It turns out you have to eat in order to sustain living. It's weird. I don't know. It's
the worst, dude. I've always said this to my wife and we're both in agreement. It's like, if I could get one superpower, it would be to not be hungry, not have to eat food. Like, I want to eat it if I want to. Like, if it, hey, we're going to go to this fancy restaurant and have like a 5-star dish or whatever. Cool. But I'd rather not just have to shovel food in my face so I don't die.
I have a weird relationship with food because I have been so blessed, even though addiction runs heavily in my mom's side of the family. I never had a problem. Drugs aren't my thing. I experimented like everyone else, but like, I loved drinking when I was a young person. My family's German. Like, we can drink.
You can put it back.
Oh, dude, I used to try to drink the Ocean's Dry, but I never had a problem with anything. Like, I was always able to just stop, and it was never an issue. But food for me, I've only recently kind of realized in the last, I don't know, year and a half of my life that like, I've used food as a pretty heavy crutch for a lot of things emotionally. And my weight has bounced up and down, and it's only recent where I've really been conscious of it. And so like, I've slimmed down because I'm forcing myself to just only eat when I'm hungry instead of bored eating, which everyone does, but I fucking love eating. But damn it, you can't do it all the time, apparently.
Yeah, no, I wish I didn't feel like a physical thing. I feel physical pain in my chest and stomach and headaches, and I start getting like very like lethargic, and then I eat, and then I end up passing out because my body's just crashing completely. Like, ooh, food, just now you need sleep. So, and that's what happens when you're working all the time, right? You just work until you're fucking pass out.
Right. Yeah. And which, left to my own devices, I will work from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. given the chance. Like, when I was single, fuck, dude, I would just kill myself doing like videos and YouTubing stuff just because I didn't have anything else to do.
Well, I mean, you're doing, it's paid off. Your channel's got, almost 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I've sacrificed a lot for it, and I don't regret anything. But like, you definitely like. There's several key times I can think back. Like, I chose not to go to that birthday party. I chose not to, go and hang with the bros or go to the family function thing. And some good, some bad. But like, I don't know. I was so dedicated in wanting to do this thing and be good at my craft. I did that, and I was pretty singular about that. I think, especially in the early days.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense, man. Like I've tried explaining that to other people, like even myself personally. Like, you know, I've obviously, in order to do what I'm doing, I've had to detach myself from a lot of things. You know, and like, hey, I got to go work. You know, and when I'm done working and I have succeeded at doing what I'm trying to do, then we can enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? That's when you can take a vacation or something.
Well, that's exactly what it's about for me. Is it's investing in yourself in something that I sound like a self-help seminar or something like that, but it's about the product that happens as a result of all that work, as opposed to like, I love video games. I can't play video games anymore because I won't allow myself to, in my mind, waste my time.
Yeah, it's a time sink for sure.
Because I could be productive, and I'm so addicted to being, I get that rush of being productive that I can't play video games. I have an Xbox bolted to the side of this recording desk, and I used to like take breaks and like play Tony Hawk or Call of Duty Warzone or something like that. I won't allow myself to do it anymore. I can't, because then that turns into like 3-4 hours, and then, oh shit.
Well, what you got to do is transition now, Riffs and Beards and Games, and start a Twitch channel, and then it's work.
I have a Twitch channel, and I tried that. No one gives a shit about me.
No, you gotta. It's a new audience, so that's something I talked to Hobby from Animals as Leaders.
Yeah.
He has a pretty decent Twitch, and he was telling me the same. He's like, it's not my Animals as Leaders fans. This is a whole new audience that we built, and now it's starting to intertwine a little. Like the fans are starting to peek in or whatever, but it's a whole separate. You got to treat it as a separate thing. Yeah.
My buddy Matt Heafy.
I know Matt. Yeah.
Successfully.
Yeah.
But for me, that it was just like the YouTube thing. You got to keep going at it. You got to keep doing it and be regular about it. I can't do that because I got this other thing going. I got two other things going. You know, I'm in a band, and now I have we have the YouTube thing, and it's just tough. Dragged Under,
the band.
Yeah.
So you guys ramping up for the reopening? What are they calling it? The reemergence.
Reemergence. Yeah, we go out August 14th is day one of we're 103 with Beartooth and Wage War.
Nice.
We're gonna go do that, and then we just announced some European shows. We're playing Hellfest, and we're playing.
Well, everyone's playing.
Literally everyone. You're playing.
Right? I'm there. My band's there. Both of my bands are playing. Dude, I saw the list. I'm like, what the fuck? 350 bands, 7 days. I mean, I get it. Your pent up aggression from the pandemic. I get it, but whew.
A lot of bands. It's a really good banging ass lineup too.
It's ridiculous. The headliners alone are a thing, and then just like the list underneath every headliner is insane. I guess there's going to be people that go for all 7 days, but I mean, that's rough.
I would assume there is. I mean, over there, European music going culture is something that's totally foreign to us over here, because they go for the music, but they go for the experience, and they make it they plan their vacations around it, and they go and they spend all year worrying about that festival that they're going to choose to go to, or several festivals to go to, especially in France. Yeah. So I don't know. It's probably going to be sick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be sick. I wish I could. When is it? Is it next year?
Yeah, a year from now.
I might be able to go.
Come out.
I got a year now. I have a goal. I have a year to raise enough money to go.
I'll put you on my guest list.
I gotta buy flights and hotels and all that goodness.
No, dude.
Yeah, man. By the way, you mentioned the guest list thing. Like, that's such an interesting topic to me. Like, now on the verge of coming back to shows. Like, I don't want to ask anyone for a guest list spot. You know what I mean? I feel bad. I feel like I need to support.
But at the same time, like, from being on the other side of that, like, I am so happy that I can now am able to do that. So it's fine. We're just so happy to see people and have that interaction again. I mean, for us, like, the Beartooth tour will be the first time we've played Seattle in 2 years.
Nice.
And it's going to be a big deal for us, because we're having, like, all of our extended family want to come out, and because everyone else has been cooped up too, but my pops is coming out, my brother's coming out, and like everyone's mom and dad are coming out, and like it's gonna be a big deal. And we're so happy to be like, yep, Geo. Like
that's great, man. That's cool because I you know, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to start going to shows again. Last night was my first night out with the boys in 2 years. Like I went out to bars.
Yeah. I still haven't done that. It's interesting. It's interesting to kind of go through the emotions of like putting your proverbial guard down, and it's weird. I was talking this about to my doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, it's basically PTSD. Mm-hmm. Like it's the weird psychological thing. Like I have a buddy that I ship all my amps through, and he has a real small shipping place, and he's like the best, and he's a musician, and he gets it. And I walk into there, and he's like, everyone in here is vaxxed. Like you don't have to wear a mask, and I'm vaxxed. And he's like, and I'm just like, but this feels wrong. Okay,
what are we doing?
This is naughty time. No, but, it feels weird.
Do you think that's going to be a new porn category? Mask fetish from like after,
I would be shocked if it isn't already.
I can see it now. So what led you to wanting to, I mean, obviously the necessity is probably a big part of it. When tours get canceled out, like you got to up your game somehow. A lot of, like you've been doing this for a while, but there are a lot of people that started during the pandemic. Just because of necessity. But what led you to like want to be, like a YouTuber, I guess? You're a YouTuber.
It didn't start out as like when I started uploading in 2011, and that wasn't a thing. Mm-hmm. Then. It was more of I needed a website to post up my nerdy microphone comparisons or my overdrive pedal comparisons to show the forum that I was on. Like, Rig Talk or the Boogie Board, the Mesa Boogie Board or anything like that. It was just a place to have a link to. Like that's all it was initially. Yeah. But I really loved that process of the video stuff because I learned how to edit video from professionally editing porn back in 2005 in Van Nuys.
Okay.
And I figured it's probably like riding a bike, right? Like I can do this, and it was fine. I knew how to edit video. I didn't know how to do audio, so that was a steep learning curve as well. But it was just a way to get out my nerdy, my nerdy curiosity about like, oh, what's the difference between an Audix i5 and an SM57 or 2 amps or whatever? Because I was always that guy doing those comparisons on my own anyway.
Yeah, that's why it's working, because it's natural to you. It's what you want to do.
Totally. I do this stuff, dude. I've been like, I had some time to kill yesterday. Mm-hmm. I have 5 fucking rectifiers here. I set up a project and I reamped all of them with the same settings and flipped through them in real time to hear the differences of exactly what was happening with each one. And then I would like roll tubes and put different tubes in the preamp. That's not for anybody else's enjoyment. That's just that's what I do. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the YouTube thing was, I don't know. It was just me doing me. And then it seems like the world caught up, especially in the COVID, 2020, like all of a sudden I came home from tour and content was the only way these companies had to communicate with their user base.
Yeah.
Because, all their budgets were then blown. They're not doing NAMM. They're not doing any of these other events. And all of a sudden I was in the hot seat. I felt like with the gear community, and I was like, okay, my wait time was instantly like 2 months. And I had 6 foot high boxes of gear, just piles and piles and piles of stuff downstairs. My girlfriend's just like,
that's insane. That's insane.
It was nuts.
Yeah, people don't understand that aspect of it. Like when you get to like the level you've gotten to on your YouTube channel, and obviously like not your work is showing because of the quality of the videos too. Like there's good lighting, all of that. Like you're putting the work in for a good product. People want you to play their stuff. They're gonna send it to you. Like, hey, here. That to me is fascinating, man. Like that, it's worth it. It's free. It's not free advertising because you're paying with product, but still, it's like if they send you a piece of gear and you decide to talk about it, like they're gonna get people tuning into them.
Yeah, and also now there's like there's sponsored videos, right? So like I'll do a sponsored Guitar World video for a PRS Archon, and like that lives on the channel for the rest of eternity. Like that is a living, breathing commercial
Yeah.
for their stuff. But it never started out that way. That was never the goal. Like the goal was to see. So the first company to ever send me something was Line 6, whom hilariously I'm with now. Like I am a full like Line 6 artist. That's what we tour with. We tour with Helixes.
Nice.
Shout out to Matt. He's one of the most lovely human beings on the planet. And the goal was to see who you could get to send you something on loan. There wasn't a such thing as free gear.
Right.
But if you could get someone to send you the latest and greatest, like at the time it was the Pod HD 500 or whatever rack pod it was at the time. If you could get a company to send you the newest piece of gear and there would be a return label in it, you basically got free content with that thing that people would watch because it's new.
Right.
We didn't think about keeping or making money. Like that wasn't ever the thing. Like that's not why we did any of this stuff. So it was me, Keith Marrow, Rob Chappers, Tone King, and Ola.
Yeah.
And I thought I was way late to the game. I thought I was done. I was so late to the game. The market's super saturated. There's 5 other dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now there's like hundreds and hundreds.
It can be oversaturated, dude, but as long as you're putting in you're putting in the work and you're putting out some quality work, it'll always stand out, man. It'll always stand out.
There's always, my grandfather used to say, there's always room at the top for the best.
Yeah, man. Because, dude, I mean, even with me with this show, like I wasn't the first one. Obviously, there's a million podcasts, but it's just do it passionately and do it the right way. I think, like you're doing, and I think it's working, man. Like I don't watch YouTubers. Like I'm turning 40 like you, but I'm like I don't watch YouTubers. Like I'd rather go do it myself, but I know about you and I know about Ola because it's so well done that you see it. Like I have no choice. It's part of my world. Yeah.
That's actually the reason why I came on here because I've seen a few, and also you pull some pretty cool guests. Javi, I was just like, oh, it's the homie. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've been lucky that people actually will say yes to hang out and talk to me for a while.
I mean, it's the vibe, right? Like that's all it is it's a vibe.
For sure. So what's the plan next, man? Like tour with the band. What about the show? Like just continue to do it now that we're opening up post-pandemic, or are you planning on doing more like on-site stuff, or what are you thinking?
When I go on tour, I'll have my camera gear with me, and the content will change a little bit, but I feel like I'm going to be able to do more that I would never be able to do. Like I'm going to be doing rig rundowns with Beartooth.
Okay. Yeah.
Wage War. I'm going to do all sorts of stuff. Like, and the people that come out, my famous friends that come out to see us, I'm going to film stuff with them too. So like, it's going to be all under the Gear Nerd umbrella. But it is going to change. But I think it's going to be really, really cool because it's going to be something different. It's going to be refreshing. I'm going to have the camera running, and we're going to play some giant ass shows, and I'm going to let everybody see like what it's like to walk out on stage.
Yeah.
Into that kind of thing. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
And a temporary change is okay.
Yeah, I like that. We're in a time where we can evolve things from what they are. Like everybody's figuring it out as we go along. So. I'm all for it. I think it's going to be great. Just even, like going back to NAMM, the first NAMM back is going to be interesting, I think, for everyone.
I can't believe they're doing Summer NAMM.
Yeah.
I think
it's a little soon.
Winter NAMM, I don't know what's happening with Winter NAMM. I know they're doing it. I don't know who's all going to be there. But
so when did maybe, educate me a little bit, but when did the Gear Nerd thing become so popular? Because I know there's always been Gear Nerds, and but now there's like you said, there's 5 dudes doing different shows of that, and it's become like a thing to see. You see like dudes from bands like Scale the Summit or Javi from Animals, and like they're doing videos for other guitars, and then that leads to them having their own companies like Tozen did and all that, and yourself.
So what happened was it all started. So it happened incrementally, but the first real big push happened like someone like me who like I don't have a good guitar company. I would never want a guitar company or anything like that. But the reason why I was able to prosper is because big box stores like Guitar Center have stopped carrying all the cool shit. So now someone in rural America can't go and pick up the latest Gibson Les Paul. They don't carry it. Like they'll carry some, but they don't carry the amount of the quality of gear that they used to. I think the cap now is like most guitars, like they have to have a certain amount of guitars that are under $1,000 because those are simply the ones that sell, like student models and things like that. So they won't have the real nice stuff. They also won't have the breadth of amps. You know, they only have so much floor space, and all the stuff is coming out. Like you can't go to a Guitar Center and try a Neural DSP Quad Cortex.
Right. Yeah.
So then that creates a vacuum. So then you have people online that are familiar with gear, and then the companies reach out and go, "Hey, do you want to try this?" And that way, and then people start looking to me to judge if they like or dislike something. Now, I personally have never said, "This sucks. I fucking hate this. This is bullshit," because who am I? I'm nobody.
Right.
Tell you what you think sounds good. Like that's such a personal, that's like religion to me. Like if you think it's sick, then it's sick.
Right.
I don't care what it is. Like if it's a Fractal, if it's a little pocket amp, if it's a Rockman from the 80s, I don't care. Like, but I want to help people make that decision easier.
Sure. Yeah. It's a worthy cause, I would say. There's a lot of gear out there, and a lot of stuff, and people that want to get into it but aren't already into it. They're just trying to break into that culture, I guess. They need some kind of guidance. The same thing happens with video games. You mentioned video games earlier. Like if you people depend on reviews a lot. I don't, because I play everything, but
that's a great example, actually.
Yeah, like people
I feel that way with video games.
Yeah,
just like, fuck do I start? Like, what? Like with okay, first you got the systems, then you got the games, then you got the variations of like the multiple titles. I remember what it was like. So I was a very domestic guy up until I was at Boeing. I was doing the 9 to 5 thing. When I wanted to start doing the YouTube channel, out of boredom, I had been out of it for 10 years, and from 2000 to 2010, so much had changed.
Yeah.
The digital thing was all of a sudden good or good-ish. Like, huh?
Yeah, Bill, I blame that on like Netflix and Spotify doing it first, and then video games kind of like, well, we're gonna have, it's one of the most, movies, music, and video games are like the 3 biggest entertainment media formats. So why do I still have to, like, if I want to buy a disc, how come that doesn't matter anymore? Like, why do they sell discs anymore? Because there's people that like collecting.
Is it really? Well, I guess the collector market is that big. Yeah.
There's a big market. I go to this thing here in California called Frankensons, and basically it's a Costco that filled with vendors that sell video games and like comic books, and there's like memorabilia. And it's huge. There's dudes trading like, here's the original Suikoden 2 for PlayStation 1. It's worth $400. I'm like, what? And and they have all the new games too. So I think they still make it so that there is that market. Like, I mean, I kind of collect. I have some back here. I have some N64 games and stuff. But I've made video games part of my life. Like, it's my day job. It's I enjoy the whole culture, but I'm ready for the digital. I'm ready for not even digital downloads. I'm ready for the streaming to happen. Like, I want to like Netflix. I want to just turn on my Xbox and be like, I want to play that game. I don't want to have to sit here for 3 hours downloading it and installing it on my Xbox.
That's an infrastructure problem, though. Like, that'll never happen.
Oh, well, it's already happening. It's already
on a large scale. I mean, like, depending on the area, sure, but like, I'm talking about the actual physical line for your internet connection. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, I have the physical, I have the cable hooked up to my Xbox Direct. Like, I don't do the Wi-Fi thing.
Get to from Comcast or whoever to your house. Like, if you want to do a full tilt, like super high res, like,
Well, check it out. Microsoft is doing it. It's called xCloud, and it's that idea. They're just getting it started. They have a limited amount of games, but you can stream it to any screen. So like you don't even need to have your console attached. Like you could put it on your phone, you could put it on your iPad or whatever. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you're just streaming it. You're streaming it from their servers, so they have massive computers connected and creating their own like infrastructure within them, and you're just tuning in to that stream and they're running it off of their computers. Yeah.
So is there a point at which the infrastructure itself limits, and is there a glass ceiling of, like, for example, you're not going to see Netflix streaming 8K movies anytime soon,
right? Yeah, there's a ceiling, I'm sure. That's probably, but that's something that can always get better, right? That technology keeps advancing.
For sure.
I think that's the future of consoles, really. Like, I don't think I think we might get another generation of consoles, maybe one more, and that's it. Like, I think from then on, it's going to come, like, your TV will come with Xbox Game Pass or some shit.
I agree. It's going to be not a gaming console. It's just going to be like a media station, and it's going to be, and if you want it to have like, I want to do the Xbox stuff. Okay, well, you PlayStation stuff. Yep, you do that. You can sign up for that subscription, or you can. Right. Yeah, I totally see it going that way too.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm cool with the fact that they're still making discs, but I don't buy them. I only buy it if it's something that means a lot to me, and it's a collector's edition. Same goes with music. I mean, I buy vinyl records, and
I do too.
Yeah, if anybody's got like a collector's package and if it's a band that I love, I'm gonna buy whatever you're putting out. But I'm also mostly listening to music on my phone, like streaming.
You too.
Unless it's my day off and I'll put on a record while I'm cleaning or cooking or something. Yeah. So all right, so you're gonna keep putting out content, which I've also gotten past that point of being angry at the word content creator or influencer. I mean, like, I'm past that point at this. I used to be mad at it, but now I'm like, whatever, man, do your thing.
It's better than YouTuber.
Yeah. I'm sorry I called you that earlier. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's like, I think of a YouTuber as the, hey guys, today we're going to go to the mall and we're going to, like, that's, but it's different things to different people. And it doesn't matter what I think. So as long as they're owning that and calling me something, that's fine. Yeah. All good.
I'm definitely getting to that age now where none of that is bothering me anymore. I used to be, kind of elitist when it came to certain things like beer or metal bands, like, oh, you listen to that band? Oh, that's cute, but now it's like, whatever, man, have fun. Like, what can I say? I'm not here to criticize any band anymore. If you like it, you like it. That's cool.
Where does that come from, do you think, as a younger person? I used to do that too, of just like, oh, you like, it's so cool to hate on Nickelback, right? Like, it's so cool to hate on Nickelback. And dude, I got lambasted on an FAQ Monday a couple months ago where it was like, dude, some of the best guitar tones ever put to record are on Nickelback albums. Sorry.
Yeah.
Facts. They got riffs too. Mm-hmm. And they're also one of the best live bands. And also they write their own music. So really, you're gonna hate them because they sell at arenas?
Yeah. Okay. Because that's a bad thing, selling out arenas.
Oh, you're a poser for liking it. Shut up.
Yeah, I got over that real quick. At first, I used to be a hater too, but then I came to the quick realization, like, somebody's buying those records. Millions of records are sold. Someone's buying those records. There's a reason for it. They're quality work. And then, it completely won me over when they did that Google Photos ad. I don't know if you saw that. That was pretty funny. I was like, all right, cool. But, I'm over it. I'm over that elite. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe like weird bullying in high school, or I don't know, that bully mentality, or just feeling special because whatever you're listening to is cool to you and you're not cool because you don't even get it. I've had that discussion with a lot of, because I grew up in Miami where it was all like salsa and hip hop and which is fine. Sure. But I was the only kid in my class, like my group of friends, that was showing up with Metallica and, Slayer and like, dude, check out Cannibal Corpse. They're like, this is noise. I'm like, no, fuck you then. You don't even get it.
I think maybe there's a correlation between like a lot of the snarky or really overtly negative comments that I get are people trying to project ownership onto me. And so for example, your older shit is way fucking better. You should go back to the way you fucking used to write riffs or film your videos or talk or whatever it is. This fucking sucks. You should blah, blah. It's like, well, then you go watch that old shit. I did that already. Yeah. Or Master Puppets. Make Master Puppets again. Why? They made Master of Puppets.
Yeah, you could go listen to Master Puppets.
that ownership, but I understand the ownership aspect because I distinctly remember being a friend of mine used to go to these tons and tons of shows in high school, and she had Limp Bizkit's original demo tape, like the 4-song demo with like Counterfeit and Pollution on it and stuff like that, the demo boombox versions or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I remember being real disappointed when they blew up because like that was a band that only me and my friends knew. Like okay. I get that sense of like ownership and like that thing that you want special to be for you, but at the same time, that's a choking mentality for the people that, or for the artist or the thing that you're trying to take ownership of. That chokes them out.
Yeah.
You want them to grow and be successful, so you can do more of their thing that they make, whether it's a video game, album, whatever.
There's also this like weird selfishness to it, like that kind of leads the whole culture of, especially here in LA, with like, oh, there's Supreme brand that people line up, and only if you line up at 4 a.m. are you going to get that shoe or whatever it is, you know? Like it's that selfishness. Like I want this. This is mine. Like I connected so much to this. This is for me, not for you. Like why? I don't want you to become successful and big because it's mine. Like
I don't want to share. Yeah,
I don't want to share. I kind of, I'm not going to say I'm, victimless to that mentality. Like I don't try to do it at all, but I definitely feel happy when I acquire like a bottle of, something that's rare to get or hard to get, and I get it, and I'm like, woo! I got the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're a collector.
All right. Yeah. That's right.
So,
yeah.
So I don't know. That's different though. You're not wanting, you don't wish other people to not have it. You just want one.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that is different because I do share. Like if I get a bottle of some tequila or something, we're all having a shot,
That's totally different. That's even like, that's cool. I back that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand the elitism with like certain, musical tastes. Like you mentioned Limp Bizkit. I grew up listening to that, $2 bill, y'all. That was good. And even I enjoyed the Significant Other. I enjoyed it. I saw them with Wu-Tang in Miami, and like DMX was on stage with Wu-Tang that night. And
I saw them in '99 in the opening of the Significant Other tour with Kid Rock and Stained. How 90s is that?
Ooh. Hey, Kid Rock is not the smartest, but I'll say I had a blast at his show with Metallica. It was Metallica. Check out this lineup: Metallica, Kid Rock, Seven Dust, and Creed.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that happened at the Orange Bowl in Miami. That was a good tour.
Was that a tour or just a one-off show?
I think it might have just been a one-off. I don't know. It might have been a one-off, but it was, I believe the first band was Kid Rock, and he came out with like, strippers on poles, and there's little people, and like it was a fucking circus, So I was like, I don't like this music, but this is entertaining to see. It's kind of like pro wrestling,
He crushed it live. When I saw him with Limp Bizkit, he played every single instrument at one time, like not at the same time, but like there'd be a song where like he went and he played all, and he'd pick it up, like he'd go behind the drums and pick up the beat, go to the guitarist, get the guitar, fucking play the guitar, go to the keyboards, go to the fucking do scratches and all that shit. Like it was really entertaining.
Yeah. And so going back to that Limp Bizkit show with Wu-Tang, I think it was System of a Down was the opening act.
Sounds right.
I think so. And but dude, top of their game. They had the full blown stage production thing where they had like the science beaker with like liquid and like fog coming out of it, and like this elaborate fucking stage production.
Did you remember Warped Tour 97? They had the giant toilet in the center of the.
I remember that one. I remember that one. God.
Amazing.
Yeah, I like, every once in a while it's so fun. Like Amon Amarth, for example. Like I like their music. It's heavy. I'll listen to it, but I'm also not like a fan where I'm like, living the lifestyle. But when I went to their live show, man, that's a fucking show. Like fire and a boat. Yep. There's a boat and like they're fighting a dragon at some point. There's a giant inflatable dragon.
I love that.
Oh man. So for your band Drag Thunder, like you're not doing stage production presentation. It's more.
Not yet.
Not yet, but you're planning on it. Are you planning on it?
I mean, if we start doing headline shows that big, yeah, sure.
Fuck yeah.
Right now we're in that we're in that weird position where like we signed a record deal last year and we have some really, really, really wonderful, huge opportunities, and we are going to take advantage of all those and be that band that's on literally opening for every damn tour you see. Like, God, weren't they just opening for Rise Against, and now they're on tour with A Day to Remember, and like, what the hell? Like, we want to be that band.
Nice.
That's just opening for everyone.
That's good. You got to, like you said, you got to put in the work, and,
right.
That's how you do it, man. Like my favorite example to use is Mastodon. Like I've watched those dudes play in front of 4 people, and from that to where they're at now, selling out arenas and all that. Like they put the work in, man. They didn't really blow up until they were all in their 40s.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were playing Culture Room in their mid 30s or late 30s in Florida, which is like a 300 capacity venue. And
I never thought about that. You're right, because like I get beat up all the time by my band members that I'm 40.
Yeah, no, you're just getting started, man.
I know, honestly,
yeah,
like it's fine because whatever. I'm the healthiest I've ever.
Right, 40 is the new 30, man. We're all getting older. Is easier now in these days. Like, you think about the era where people were dying in their 30s. That was the life expectancy of people. Like what a shitty world that must have been.
Dude, right? Fuck.
Yeah, I think we're good, and with the more information we have to keep ourselves healthy and out of trouble, I've been trying my best to stay out of trouble, and what I mean is like hurting myself just by doing dumb shit, drinking certain things or whatever it is. The party time is like we were, I don't mosh as much anymore. I'm just kind of, I'm gonna go watch the show from the back by the front of house because I want to hear it.
I got my first concussion at a Deftones show. I saw the Deftones on the Around the Fur tour 3 times.
Nice.
And I got my first concussion in the pit. I got a steel-toed Doc Martin at the back of the head.
Whew. Yeah, that'll do it.
I was actually like out cold.
Wow.
I woke up, like I crawled out of the crowd. Dude, I was so fucked up.
Jeez.
Puking. I had to go to the ER. Yeah.
That happened to me at a it wasn't a Linkin Park concert. It was a radio station festival that Linkin Park was playing. It was like a Zeta festival thing in Florida. But I remember we would go just to mosh to whoever. It didn't really, even if we didn't like their music, we would just go and jump in the pit all together. It was like 4 or 5 friends, and it was just to kind of have fun, and then like also kind of protect if we saw somebody acting up, doing ninja kicks.
For sure.
Yeah, and but I remember waking up. And the Linkin Park had stopped playing, and the crowd had split, and I was like in the middle, like on the floor, looking up, and there's like a spotlight, and I'm like, oh shit! And they're like, some dude trying to rip my shirt off for like a medic or something. I'm like, no, I'm back. What happened? Like, relax. Don't rip my shirt off. What happened? Like, you got knocked out and you got stomped on. I'm like, okay, I'm good though. Get the start the show again.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was rough. I don't know I don't even know what happened. I just remember waking up on the floor to that situation and them taking me out of there.
That's intense, dude.
Yeah, but hey, it happens. When you get in those concerts, man, those massive festivals that you see the sea of people, kind of like if one person pushes, you can't do anything. You're now moving forward with the entire audience back, and it's like a wave.
That's not for me.
Nah, I can't do that anymore.
We're gonna be playing some of those shows over in Europe.
Nice. It's cool to see from a stage perspective.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never been over there, and I've never played shows that big. But we'll be playing. We'll be playing. Let's see. What did I say? Hellfest, and then a couple more that aren't announced yet. But there's some very, very large shows that.
How's that going to work out for you? Are you going to be able to stay for the whole 7-day festival, or just going to have to do the one show and then move on?
Yep. Yeah. You show up, play, get the fuck out.
Okay, that's the unfortunate.
You're there for the day.
Yeah.
So whoever's playing that day, so like we're gonna go see Whitesnake and Scorpions and Rise Against and
nice.
Some other bands. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Do I have the lineup here? I see Scorpions. Is that Chevelle? No, I can't see right. I forget who's playing. That might be Chevelle. Who knows? Chevelle, by the way, I don't know if they're playing, but I tuned into a song the other day. Somebody sent me a new Chevelle song, which I had they're fine, but I had dismissed them, and they're like, I told my buddy, I'm like, it sounds like they spent the entire pandemic listening to Tool and doing mushrooms, and then they wrote a new album.
Honestly, maybe that's probably what they did.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it definitely sounds like that sounds different. It doesn't sound like what they used to sound like to me, but I'm not.
The new album sounds awesome. Like, I don't know, it's a little left to center, and it's a little, I don't know, it's a little different. It's groovier. It's there are hints and there are moments that go back to like the first record, and it's cool. I like it.
So we mentioned the Deftones. What band have you seen the most live?
The most live. Probably Mastodon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mastodon's like my favorite band of like all time.
Yeah, I mean they're up there for me for sure.
And I'm so blessed to now be I can call Bill Kelleher a friend of mine, and he'll text me with like fucking gear questions and shit at 7 a.m. I'm just like, bro, I'm on the West Coast. He's like, oh, sorry, man. Anyway, okay, so I have a Helix, and I'm just like, no, hey, I gotta have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, man. Bill's great, dude. I've been fortunate too to become friends with them over the years. I mean, I started as a fan back in the March of the Fire Ants days, and to like just go to every show I could to see them, and eventually just meeting and becoming pals. Like Bill, I don't know if you knew, but I had Bill on here, and he fucked up, and I didn't know. But he announced that they were doing the Bill and Ted song on the show.
Oops.
Hey, look, I texted him. I'm like, dude, what? And he was like, yeah, I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but also I just got the most views I've ever gotten on the on the channel. Fucking Spin Magazine covered the episode because of it. I was like,
that's not your fault. That's not your problem.
I told him, I'm like, I'm really sorry, dude. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, that was an interesting episode. I got to have him back on soon. Him and Brent, like Brent and I have hung out a few times thanks to Alex, our mutual pal. And also Braun and I had a few drinking sessions because he's a big beer geek. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool to just be able to hang out with people like they tell you don't meet your heroes and shit like that, but fuck that, man. Just treat them like normal people. That's what you got to do.
I don't know the rest of the Mastodon dudes, but I did show up. So I went to when they were on tour with Coheed and Every Time I Die. I'm friends with Andy from ETID, and he was like, dude, show up. Get you some lammies and just hang out for sound check. Like, let's nerd out a little bit. I was like, cool. Well, I show up pretty early, and Bill is on stage. They got done sound checking, and they still have like 45 minutes. So he's messing with his tone, and he's playing Say It Ain't So, Weezer's. Dun.
Yeah.
And I'm walking, and he goes, "Hey, fucking get up here!" And I was like, "Okay." Hey, I'd never met him before. Like, we had talked. We'd been on Facebook Messenger. We never actually met in person, and so I go up, and he's like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he was just like, he was so cool, and then he wanted to hear what his guitar sounded like out in front. So he was like, takes off his guitar, and he's like, "Here, play it while I go out and listen." I was like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was so awesome, but yeah.
Have you had, I mean, aside from that moment, like, has there been a moment where you've punished someone?
I try to be really, really conscious of not doing that. However, I'm sure there's been a couple of times off the top of my head. I've punished. Okay, so my band is managed by a lovely human being who you should absolutely have on the podcast called Joey Bradford.
Oh, I've had Joey on. Joey's the best. Yeah.
Okay, I've punished Joey pretty hard.
Nice. Well, thankfully Joey's a sweetheart, so that works out.
He's the best.
Yeah.
And that's funny. I had no idea he's been on here. That's funny.
Yeah, I actually just hung out with him like a week and a half ago. We unfortunate situation as to why we were hanging out was a funeral for a friend, Pat Reeves, rest in peace, family of the Atreyu crew and Hell or High Water crew and all that. So but yeah, we hung out, and it was, he was there for the whole thing and having a couple beers. But yeah, shout out to Joey. He's been here. He was one of the first video ones that I did.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So I've punished him pretty hard. Of all of my cool homie dudes, because like he'll tell you, and like he's done some insane shit, and I'm just like, hey, so like when you were on tour once with this band, like, because like he did merch for Seosin back in the day, and like he was there for all of it. Did thrice tours, like, so I'm always punishing him whenever possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, I try not to punish as much as possible, but it happens, It
does.
I punished for sure Adam Jones from Tool when I met him. And I wasn't even like, I was trying so hard not to, but even my wife noticed, like she tapped me on the elbow. I'm like, hey, hey, Adam Jones.
Pretty tough. I think it's just something that comes naturally from your admiration of what they do and like what they've meant to you and stuff. All that culminates in that moment. Yeah. And so like I get it. I totally get it.
I went back and apologized after, because like we ran into each other again. It was at a Monsterpalooza in Pasadena. I ran into him, and I was like stoked already because I think that's what it was. I was too overwhelmed. I was already stoked that I met Doug Bradley, the Pinhead from Hellraiser, and he signed like an autograph for me, and I'm walking with the autograph like freaking out like a little kid, and I look up and it's Adam Jones, and I'm just like, hey, Adam Jones. He's like, what you got there? I'm like, Pinhead's autograph? And he's like, that's fucking sick. Let's get a picture. And I took a picture with Adam Jones, me, like him pointing at the autograph. I'm just like, ah. So I went back. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, dude. I was overwhelmed. I had just met, Bradley, but I wanted to introduce myself properly.
That's pretty cool. That's a good start.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, again, I wish my brain hadn't fried out. That would have been nice to just act like a normal human being.
Yeah, I think I've definitely been in danger. Like, so at that same Mastodon show, Bill's like, dude, after the show, this specific venue has this old 1920s mansion that is basically this dressing room for all of the bands and crew. And it's on this huge plot of land. And you walk, and he's like, dude, we're all having, like, Braun's gonna barbecue for everyone.
Nice.
After the show. So Braun, I get there, and Braun's like, how would you like your burger? And I was like, Braun, medium, thanks, Braun from Mastodon. That's weird. But Tim Thale from Soundgarden shows up.
Oof.
And I'm like, I didn't talk to him. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. He was hanging out. He is the sweetest dude, because I see other people like coming up and like he's just so gracious, and I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. It's just like I being a Seattleite my entire life, and you know, I was 14 when Super Unknown came out, and like I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. I feel you. Yeah, I don't know if I've done that. I mean, I always have the stupid like urge in me that when I see that situation, I just like, guess I'm going over there. And you know, sometimes it works out. Sometimes I become friends, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it's more like a, hey, nice to meet you, and then walk away. But I don't know if I've ever froze like and said no, can't do it. But that might be Trent Reznor. If I ever run into him, I might just be like, nah, let him live.
I would do that. Tim Thale. I was at NAMM the first year that Gibson like was under new ownership. I think it was 2019. I was invited to the very back, the cool kids area of Gibson.
Okay.
And on a couch, I hear the riff for Them Bones. And Jerry Cantrell is like one of my all-time guitar heroes. He's the reason why I got into songwriting.
Nice.
And like that. And it's just Jerry on the end of a couch, just jamming on a Firebird and to an amp. Some people having drinks around, not even paying attention. I was just like,
you know, he plays video games.
I have played Call of Duty with Jerry Cantrell.
That's what I was gonna say. He plays, man. That's awesome.
And I didn't fanboy out because it wasn't in person, I suspect. But our mutual friend Kevin from Dillinger Escape Plan.
He's also been on the show, Mr. Antrizian.
So he's me and him are playing. He goes, "Hey, I just got an invite from Jerry. Do you want to go play? Do you want to go play Warzone with Jerry?" And I was like, "Jerry who?"
Lewis?
Say it. And he's just like, "Jerry Cantrell." And I'm like, he's like, "You gotta be cool though." And I was like, "I'm cool. I'm cool. You cool? I'm cool." Right?
Yeah.
So I join, and my name on my Xbox name is Riffs Beards.
Oh, at least it wasn't like Alice in Chains Forever.
Right. Yeah, Jerry C. Lover. Yeah. And my name is Riffs and Beards, and Jerry fucking with that skipping because Riffs and Beards. Oh, that's fucking cool, man. Yeah, I love both those things. Cool, man. Yeah. And like it was fine, and he was so nice and so cool. It's just like, damn, life is fucked up sometimes, man.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta make sure to enjoy it when it happens, when shit like that happens. You know, I've definitely found myself in situations where backstage at a show or something, I'm just like, what is happening? Why am I here? Like, how did I make it to this point? And but I got to make sure I actually like try to soak it in, because a lot of the times, you know, I do tend to smoke when I'm out, like weed. So it gets a little hazy, but I try to like, and I've been trying to keep a journal on my phone too when shit happens. Like this just happened, and it's on a notepad so that, you know, a week later I'm like, oh my God, that happened. Like, oh shit.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's important to journal, and what you're doing with your channel, like on all the social media stuff that we're doing. Because I get shit from friends that are like, you know, you spend too much time on social media, and I'm like, it's my journal. It's how I'm keeping track of what I'm doing.
It's my job. Leave me alone.
It's my job. So that, you know, it's cool to have that. We're at a time where you have that now. You're building your legacy now through your YouTube channel, through your social media. Like, this is you now.
Isn't it weird to think that your podcast will be around long after you're dead?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was listening to, I think it was maybe, I don't know who it was. Somebody was talking about, maybe it was Alex Friedman, but just kind of building a physical library of podcasts where they could have these recordings of all, because these are just, you know, this is books. These are stories that are being shared. You know, when you have interviews or when you're doing stuff, it should be cataloged somehow. Because what if the database goes down? You know what I mean? What if YouTube crashes forever?
Well, with podcasts, like, I mean, God forbid, like, let's say you're 105 and you finally kick the bucket, right? If your monthly subscription, if your debit card doesn't go through, they take all your shit down.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, if I pass away, no one keeps paying my server fees. No one gets access to the show anymore.
Like that.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. So it's interesting. The thought of even maybe putting some on vinyl and shit. Like people were talking about that. I'm like, that's interesting. I don't know. Like I collect comedy records. Maybe a really good podcast episode record would be interesting.
Like a greatest hits on vinyl.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling, but anybody that's watching and or listening, if you're not aware that Mr. Fluff here has a tremendous channel where he plays with a lot of really cool musical instruments and equipment and pedals and whatnot, and all the things that you're doing, what's the preferred method for you? Like, what are you telling people to check out when they go to check you out?
Oh, go on YouTube, just search Fluff. Okay. Literally just type Fluff and I come up.
Okay. There's a pro wrestler named Fluff too, by the way. Oh no, is it Fluff or Fluff? No, I don't know. He's a friend of Andy's, big guy. Forget his name. I think it's Fluff.
I'm gonna text Andy. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his buddy. They used to wrestle out there in Boston. Him and the Blade. Forget his name now. His regular name. His shoot name. But yeah.
I'm gonna go look that up.
But yeah, anybody listening and watching, check out Riffs Beards on YouTube, or Fluff if you want to just look up Fluff. Social media as well as at Riffs Beards.
Yep.
And you're killing it, man. And hopefully you're playing California.
Oh yeah.
Let's hang. I can show you what the rock and roll beer guy is about. I'll show up and party.
Come out, dude.
Yeah. But cool, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, brother. Cheers to you with a little Ignite energy drinking. What are you drinking?
This is Ugly Water.
Ugly Water?
So they make, basically it's LaCroix or something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
No calories, no sugar. It tastes like cherry Coke.
Interesting.
Legit. They're actually two former Coke executives.
Interesting.
That started the company.
They got the branding down that looks like a craft beer.
Right. This particular flavor is strawberry cream soda. But they also have fruit punch that tastes like Hawaiian punch. Ooh. It's spot on.
I'm going to pick that up if I see it around. I got to try it now.
Well, or you got to order off the internet only. They're real small. They're new.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'll order some online then. Screw it.
I highly recommend it. They're not expensive either.
Sweet. All right, brother. We'll take care. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, dude. Let's hang.
Cheers, man. Take care.